Let me know when we're live.
We are live on Facebook.
Facebook, what's going on? YouTube's next up. Instagram's next.
YouTube is live, and we are live on Instagram.
All right. All right. So I want to talk about obviously tomorrow's Thanksgiving, the need to be grateful. But I feel like a lot of people, you're not grateful for that one client that you have. And that could be the thing that's stopping you from attracting more clients into your salon or to your chair or to your business. You only have one or two staff members and you're not grateful for them. And so that's blocking you from attracting more staff members into your salon. The way the universe works and the way whatever you want to believe in works is if you're not grateful for what you have, if you're not putting yourself into the future version of yourself or your future life, and you're not visualizing what it's like to have a full salon packed with stylists, packed with clients, you will not attract that into your life. In fact, you're going to be living in a lack mindset. You're going to be living in scarcity, and you're going to repel anything you really do want into your life because you are just vibrating at the frequency of lack and scarcity, and you're living in this fear like you're not going to have any clients to bring your business to that next level. It sucks, but unfortunately, that's the way the law of vibration works. And I'm not a big believer, like I am a huge believer in the law of attraction and the law of vibration, but I don't solely just believe in just doing that. You have to take massive action. And how these two are connected, it's very basic. If you are envisioning your perfect salon the way you want it, with the team, with the client sitting in the chair, and you truly believe it's going to happen, and you can visualize it, and you feel gratitude, you feel grateful for that happening, you will begin to vibrate at a different frequency, and you would just start seeing obstacles as opportunities. You'll start being nicer and happier to other people, which makes you more likable, which increases the chance of someone meeting you being, wow, I have to work for that person. Ooh, I want to go to that salon to get my hair done. It just changes your whole entire energy. Now, sitting on a couch, writing in a journal, visualizing your salon exactly how you want it is a small piece of that pie. Small, like it's going to help you a lot, but it's only a small piece of it. Massive action is the other piece of that equation. And a lot of people either take massive action, but they don't have any belief system. And so just innately, you're going to repel anything that's going to come your way. You don't really notice these obstacles as truly opportunities because you're in such a lack mindset and you have such a guard up because you are living in fear because you don't have clientele. And so you have to make sure that you are believing it's going to happen to you. You're deserving of that staff member, deserving of those clients, and also you're doing everything within your power to attract them. So when we're sitting here and you're dwelling and you're like, oh my God, I have no clients. Everyone's busy but me, the poor me. How am I going to pay my bills? What begins to happen is you sit in this misery and you're vibrating at like a fear level when you should be vibrating at love and gratitude. When you do that, you, like I said before, you're in the frequency of abundance. You'll attract more of that into your life. But here's what really happens. You're so focused on what you don't have. And instead of doing the things that you have the power to do and that you can control, which is like creating content, reaching out to all your clients you do have, being appreciative of the staff members that are currently working in your salon, pouring into them, making them raving fans, you neglect them completely. And what begins to happen is the clients you do have stop coming back because you're not giving them the gratitude and the love that you should. Your staff members that you have currently, you're not paying attention to them. And what's going to happen is they're going to feel neglected and they're going to go look elsewhere. So this has happened to me throughout my career as an owner, as a stylist behind the chair. And it's just a fact. This is something that really happens to people. And I did a story the other day and somebody asked me how they handle like their team members that aren't really showing up and they have to really focus on their people skills. And what I said to them was a lot of owners make this mistake. You have a team of 10, let's say, and all you're doing is focusing on the 3 people that are showing up late, not showing up 100%, that are causing problems in the salon, and they're taking all your attention. Rather than focus all your attention on those 3 that aren't really like living up to the standard that you set, maybe raise your standards of hiring, but more so, focus all your attention on the people in your salon who are doing the best. Focus on that 80% or that 20% that's bringing in all your revenue, the ones who are really dialed in. And then you begin to cultivate an environment and a culture in your salon where that's the new standard. Like attracts like. So if you have a team of killers in your salon, like people who just go out and get it, they post every day, they return, they send out the follow-up texts or the follow-up phone calls to the new clients. They're always making sure their area is clean. They wash bowls when they're in the sink to help the assistant out. They just are amazing stylists or amazing team members. They're really great for the culture. When's the last time you said thank you to them? You're always worried about the people who and what they're doing wrong in your salon. Maybe it's time to worry about the people who are doing things right, focusing more attention on them, because maybe you'll get more people like that into your world. And if you have a team of people who just aren't what your culture should be and they don't live up to your standard, it's a reflection of your hiring process or a reflection of you not intervening soon enough to nip it in the bud. Because everyone has their best foot forward when it comes to an interview process, and you hire them on your team, and then all of a sudden their true colors come out. It's up to you as the owner to make sure that you step in and put that to bed right away. You have a 30-day, a 60-day, and a 90-day process where you check in with them to give them feedback on how they're doing. This way it doesn't take up too much of your time. Now, the staff who's doing amazing, reward them with something. And when I say reward, I mean that in like the most simplest way possible. It's not like you're rewarding somebody for doing a good job, but a pat on the back, a gift card, an appreciation. Like I have a couple good team members on my team, and they might go out for drinks. I'll send them a Venmo to buy a round on me. Like I do things like that to make them feel like, hey, I notice you and you're appreciated. And think about on the basic level of what this really is. This is simply relationships. So whether you're talking relationships with your clients, relationships with your staff members, or relationships with your significant other, your partner, if you have a significant other, a wife, a husband, a partner, and you neglect them, you don't appreciate them, you don't know their love language, you don't ever say thank you, you don't let them know, hey, I really appreciate you, thanks for always like helping me around the house, or thanks for always showing up for me as a husband, thanks for always showing up for me like the wife that you are. Eventually, they're going to stop doing the things that you really appreciate them for because you don't even tell them. And if you're only focused on the things that they don't do, they're going to stop doing the things that you really appreciate because you don't bring them up to them. And this is like, if you're a go-getter, if you are a hungry salon owner and you're the type of person that is just that A-type personality, you have big goals, big ambitions, and you're very driven, a lot of times it's hard for you to step out of that mindset and thank people for doing the things that they should be doing, because that's what they should be doing. But I'm telling you, it's really important. Whether it's, like I said before, thanking your spouse, your partner, your husband, your wife, more importantly, thanking your team members for just being awesome. So on this Thanksgiving, think about gratitude and think about who is in your life that just shows up every day the way they should be. Don't forget to thank them too. And this goes beyond Thanksgiving, obviously. You should do this all year long. When it comes to your clients, we're in a really unique industry because our clients ultimately become our friends because you share the most intimate moments with them, and you go through good times, you go through bad times. You have those special clients in your life. It's okay to throw in a free haircut every now and then. It's okay to give them the gift card, to give them the free product. There is a business aspect to what we do. I get it 100%. And people can go against what I say. They don't discount anybody. I'm not talking about discounting. I'm talking about a legitimate free service, a free blowout, a free haircut, a free something. And that goes a long way. At least the way I built my career does. And if you have those clients that just always show up with coffee, they're always like, you have an emergency, they're like, no problem, I could bump to this time, I could bump to that time. And they're just really good clients. It's kind of cool if you just even give them a gift card for your salon. Give them the free bottle of shampoo. Like, make sure you're showing them that they're really appreciated. Because that really goes a long way, especially the ones that send you everybody under the sun. Like, I've had clients that told their mom, their brother, their sister, their coworker, their cousin. They send you so many people. If you just do a free haircut on them, it doesn't cost you any chemicals, doesn't cost you any products. It goes a long way. So think about how you're going to show your gratitude to people. And sometimes people don't receive love in that way. Like if you read the book, The 5 Love Languages, it's a really important book for us in the service industry to see how our clients give and receive love, thanks, gratitude, like how they give and receive that, and also your staff members. So if I were you, I would dive into that book. It's a lesson I teach in the Level Up Academy. And it's just so powerful to understand how people give and receive love. Because if you find out their language, then you speak to them only in their language. And so you could have a team full of people in your salon. And you might think that you're showing gratitude. You might think you're speaking in their language and you're going above and beyond as an owner. But if they don't receive attention in that manner, or gratitude or love in that manner, it's falling on deaf ears. So it's really important you pay attention to your team members, how they give and receive love, as well as your clients. So I know everyone's probably really, really busy behind the chair right now. I'm going to let James jump into the comments in a second and go back through any of the comments, see if there's any questions. And for you guys watching right now, I'm going to open the floor up for any Q&A leading into the holiday season. Where do you feel like you're lacking right now? What do you need a little more guidance on? And let's open the floor for Q&A. James.
Rob Hair Artisan. Should a salon manage their own Insta or hire a firm?
That's a great question. So the question is, should your salon manage your own social media / Instagram, or should you hire a firm? There's something called buying back your time. And if you're good at social media, you speak the language of it, you can hire a firm if you know how to give them direction and really have a clear definition of done. Now, every single company, whether you're a salon, whether you're an independent stylist, whether you're a product line, whether you're a laundromat, whether you're a brand like Coca-Cola or Sony or Apple, the best example of who does this, really amazing, is Red Bull. Red Bull is a media company. Whether the product sucks or not, whether you like it, they became a media company. In 2025, almost, end of 2024, you have to start looking at your brand and your salon as a media company, in addition to being a salon. And so either you want to have an internal team where you have somebody dedicated just to handling your social media presence, and it will pay dividends. So if you start a YouTube channel and you build this team internally for yourself, or you outsource it, I'm gonna lead into why you can do one or the other. You are going to make money on YouTube through AdSense. So you're going to get paid to create content if it's valuable and people watch it enough and they subscribe. You are also going to have affiliate links that you can link at the products so people can purchase. You're going to drive more traffic into your salon, so you're making more revenue behind the chair and doing the thing that you're known for. And all that comes from media. And media in the form of blog content, email content, video content. So if you can handle that workload as an owner, to bring in a team to manage that for you, I say keep it in-house. Have the people in the salon capturing the content on a daily basis. Create, like what I have, you see right now, my studio. This is in 2 doors down from my salon. Whether they use it or not, my team has full access to this podcast studio, which a lot of them don't use it. I don't know why, but they should. I wish I had this when I was coming up through the ranks as a stylist. But I'm creating a media company now for all of my salons. I'm in the infant stages of it. I'm going to fund that media company off the profits, off the revenue being generated from the content, whether it's from services in my salon, but I have an e-commerce store. So now I'm going to double down on traffic going to my e-commerce store and my salon's website for selling products. You can do this yourself. If you don't know how to, you're a little technically inefficient, or you don't have the space, then you outsource somebody. I like to hire virtual assistants personally, but if you're not that proficient in it, you don't know the language, you don't have a direction, you're not good at technology, hire somebody that's here in the States to help you out. And then you have to take a look at how much you're spending, and you have to be able to do an equation on what's your profit margin, like what's your percentage, how much you're making off each customer. So you have to really know your average ticket order, your average ticket value, your lifetime value of the customer, and then hiring that person, how much revenue do they need to bring in new clients to make it worth having them on your team? And you might be upside down for a couple weeks, couple months, maybe 6 months. But at a certain point, that investment's going to pay you dividends. So if it costs you through your ads and hiring that person, let's say to create organic content for you, an extra, you're paying them $4,000 a month. Let's call it $2,000 a month, so it's not crazy. If they're going to cost you $2,000 a month of an investment to hire a social media team, they need to bring in excess of $2,000 a month worth of new business for you. That may not happen the first week, may not happen the first month, but in month 3 or 4, if that person can bring in, let's say $4,000 a month. If you get 50% commission, then you're pretty much break even, right? Because you're paying $2,000 out to your staff members, you are paying them $2,000. You want to get to the point where they're bringing in $6,000 a month worth of new clientele every single month. Once that machine is like in full force and you're hitting 6,000 new clientele every month, they're paying for themselves. It makes perfect sense. Now, the only difference, what you can't do is you can't have them do other things in your salon. So if you're really good at managing people and you're really good at creating teams, then you could create a social media team inside of your salon that wears different hats. So your assistants, your front desk person, they could help lead the way in this, and you can give them tasks so they can help grow your social media organically inside the salon. So that's what I'm in the middle of doing right now. I'm in the middle of building a in-house social media team, which I may outsource too. I may bring in a lead outside of my salon culture, outside of my salon team, to lead the way, to help coach my team. So one of the things that I like to do, if you want to build a media team in your salon, hire an expert who specializes in social media, bring them on your team for a period of 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year, to get that team in full force. So when they leave, you have the machine that's generating you $6,000 a month, but you're not paying that $2,000 anymore to a team. They're internal in your salon. Hope that answered your question. I'm gonna shut this heat off. James, you got any more?
Yeah, I got a couple more.
Cool. Let's jump in.
Angel Hair Baby. What are the
What up,
best
Angel Hair?
tips/advice to someone who's starting from ground zero behind the chair?
Ooh, wow, I just did this in the class I taught yesterday. All right, ground zero. Here's the first.
Live.
Yeah, first thing we can do. A, be the best at what you do. Pick one service, become the best at it. I don't care if it's cutting, coloring. I don't care if it's bobs. I don't care if it's updos, whatever it is, blowouts. Be the best. Then, create content every single day that would solve a frustration your client has around that haircut, around that color, around that kind of blowout, styling their hair at home, products they need, do product reviews every single day, and do that every single day. So you are the best person in your area, in your community, at that particular thing. Now, if you're just starting out, have no clients, go through your phone, text every person in your phone. I don't care how stupid you feel. Text every single person. Go through your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok. Message every single person. Ask them to be a model. Ask them to come in and participate in that service. If you're doing like color, have them just pay for the product and cover that. If you're doing cutting, then you just eat that 100%. Now, what's going to happen is you have to ask them to become a collaborator on your after picture or your reel. So what you do is every single person, you start sharing their audience as well. So you have a whole feed full of people you collaborated with, and their followers become your followers. Now, after probably 2 months of this, you should have a full book if you do this every day and you're doing 3 or 4 models a day for free. I don't really give a shit. You're not doing anyone anyway. So you're capturing content, you're getting better at your craft, you're creating a name for yourself. And then pretty much after, I promise you, 2 or 3 months of doing this, 2, 3, 4 models every single day, guess what? Everyone sees that work that you made collaborators with them on. Then they leave reviews on Google. Then they tell their friends about you. Guess what you are? You're the busiest person in your salon. And you did that within 6 months of just getting onto the floor. If you do that, I promise you, you will have a huge business behind the chair in 6 months or less. If you are good at what you do, though. So remember, step 1 was become the best at what you do. So you have to be really proficient. Good marketing makes a bad product fail faster. So it's so important that you don't start doing models and fucking everybody up. You want to make sure that when you do their hair, they love their hair and they tell all their friends about you. So in a nutshell, this is how you do it. Become the best at whatever it is that you do. Tell the world about it. Be so good that when you do the person's hair, they tell the world about it too. That's it. That's marketing 101, period. End, stop. That's it. We got to know. Got that, James?
Got it.
Cool. Next question.
Similar to that question, you kind of answered it, but Hair by Rebecca, what is your best tips to find new clients?
That was it. Rewind that and then listen to it again. If you guys want to watch this, head over to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Instagram, the whole live sits there. But on nickmirabella.com, I'm going to start posting these in video format on the blog section of nickmirabella.com, so you can rewatch them, listen to them again. I'll put like a snippet of text on there for better SEO. But there's also a podcast link on there. So the audio version is going to be on nickmirabella.com too. It's actually on there right now. But when James edits it will be on there.
So we got a gratitude question.
Cool. Ask it.
What are some strategies for staying grateful during challenging times in the salon business?
Be grateful that you're in one of the best industries that you could be in. And if you feel like everything sucks, everything's falling apart, what are you not learning from the lessons that were shown to you last year, last week, last month? Why is this lesson still repeating itself? And be grateful that you're still here to learn these lessons. And so be grateful that the universe or God cares enough about you to keep showing you these lessons so you can learn from them. Now, it's important that you have a journal. And one of the things that you can do is make a list, as basic as it is. I'm grateful for even being able to read English or whatever language you read. I'm grateful that I have the skill set of doing hair. I'm grateful that I have a license. I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful that I have all my limbs. I'm grateful that I have a car. I'm grateful that I work in a salon. I'm grateful that I have an iPhone. Start as basic as that. And then it's going to start hopefully snowballing into things that you're grateful for. And then really imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have this current life. Like, what if you were homeless? What if you had some kind of disease? What if, like, go dig deep for some pain? Like, there's some people out there in really difficult situations. That's probably not you. So your salon could be on fire. Someone could have died in your family. I mean, I'm sorry if that ever happened recently to anyone, but it's like things can always be worse, right? So if you have nothing to be grateful for, think about how worse it can be, then be grateful for where you're at right now. In the salon industry, be grateful that, and this is going to be a humble brag, that you have someone like me putting out content that can help direct you and point you in the right direction to actually build the business behind the chair. And this is all free content. Like what I do in my program, that's on a different level. This stuff here is free. So make use of it. Be grateful that you're doing hair in our industry, the salon industry, in 2024, 2025, because we have TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and other areas you can learn in how to do hair and cut hair and learn how to market and learn how to do your business. So be grateful that you have the opportunity to learn and fast track your success with all the content from guys like Alex Hormozi, Gary Vaynerchuk, ladies like Layla Hormozi, Cody Sanchez. There's so many influencers out there that teach you business. Imagine if you were doing hair back in the 80s. You'd be beat. There's no excuse right now. There's no lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. Be grateful that you live in an era where you become a millionaire in less than a year off social media. So there's no reason why you're not a millionaire. There's no reason any of us aren't, honestly. It's just the choices that we make, the things we tell ourselves, and that's really it. And the actions we don't take or we do take. Because there's millionaires every single day being formed from TikTok and YouTube. So be grateful you live in an era where you can actually make it possible. Next question.
Okay, next question.
Get these on deck, James, so we're popping rapid fire. Kid's got a microdose in him right now.
That would actually help me, but no, it's scanning through the comments.
As I'm talking, scan through.
I'm well aware, but it moves.
You move. When I move, you move, just like that. Come on.
Can you share some examples of how gratitude has positively impacted your own life and business?
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll start square one. So, my own life. You guys ready for this one? Who wants the down and dirty of my life? A lot of you guys heard the story. So let James know in the comments you want the down and dirty. And then I'll fast forward to my whole entire life. We got down and dirty. We got yes, James. You want to hear anything? We'll just pretend like they do.
We got one.
All right, cool.
My
So,
mother just joined the chat.
all right, nice. So here's the deal. Who did? Your mom?
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Curry. All right, guys. So here is the deal when it comes to the law of attraction, when it comes to gratitude. I got jammed up many years ago. Many of you guys know this story about me if you know me for any length of time. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person. Proximity is power. You hang out with the wrong people, you're going to head down the road they're heading down. So, long story short, I wound up getting arrested. During that moment of my life, when I was locked up, it wasn't like a long time at all. It was in and out. And I had to hire a lawyer and I had to do all this stuff. And I had to fight this particular court case. And I wrote down in my journal every single morning, like 10 times a day, thank you, God, for this case getting dismissed. Thank you for this case. And I visualized this case getting dismissed. And I gave like gratitude, like it happened, like it did, like it truly, truly happened already. And I get a phone call from my lawyer one day. I was actually with James, the producer of the podcast. We were in the city selling T-shirts at the time. He calls me up. He's like, you're not going to believe this. He goes, the evidence that was in the car you were in is inadmissible in court. All the charges are going to be dropped. I was like, holy shit. So, long story short, I got rid of all those friends, had to form new friends, and I actually didn't form any new friends. I just got rid of everyone in my life and then added back good friends back in my life. But fast forward, I had to start doing hair again. I was out of the hair industry for a while. And so when I started doing hair, I was making no money. And I was probably doing like maybe $400 a week behind the chair. And I was blessed to have a friend who owned a hair salon. And he let me come work there. And I wanted becoming a partner of that hair salon, which was maybe doing a couple, if that, 150,000 a year, somewhere around there. If that. And then within the first year and a half or so, I brought the salon's revenue up to just shy of like 1.2 million with the help of e-commerce. And that was the combination of both. But that January, when I first opened the salon, I was doing like 400 a week. I had my journal. I could show you my notes right now. And I put, thank you, God. I, Nicholas Mirabella. What did I put in there? I, Nick Mirabella, book $500 every single week. Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, I have it in my phone so I can read it to you, but it was along those lines. It was like the success statement from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I gave gratitude for me booking $500 a week. I hit 500 every week. It was like 3 weeks in a row. I'm like, all right, if it worked for 500, it could work for 750. So then I wrote 750 in my journal. Every day I read, thank you, Nick, thank you, God. Nick Mirabella, book 750 every single week. And some other stuff in there, like for gratitude. And I visualized it and I gave gratitude. And I saw myself making that money. Boom, hit 750. I was like, holy shit, work for 750. Now I'm at 1,000. Then I'm at 1,250. And I inched my way up. That September, I'll never forget, I was at 3750 in my journal, right? In my notes that I read every day. And I was like, okay, will it work for 4,000? I'm like, this is unbelievable. Mind you, I took massive action every day. I was in the salon in the morning. I stayed till 10 o'clock at night. Like I busted my ass. The phone rang. I picked it up. Nick, can you do my hair? Yes, I can. Clients, if I couldn't get them in, I found a way to get them in. Now, that September, I moved to 4,000. I crushed 4,000 every week. I did this every single day until I got to 5,000 a week. And at that point, I was like, all right, cool, I got this. And then I was comfortable at 5K a week. Now, I wasn't charging $100 a haircut. I was charging $65 a haircut. I think at the time, 150, 175 a full highlight. I was just oversubscribed. I visualized it. I took action. There was never a gap in my schedule. And weeks that I might have missed it, it was like the week before I did better or the week after I did better. But I didn't care. If I missed it, it was fine. I didn't get negative about it. I just visualized it happening again. And the next week, I wound up doing 5,800 or 5,500. So long story short, the next year, like the one full year in the salon industry, back as an owner, when I first got back in the industry, it took me 1 year and I built my business from pretty much $0 to $25,000 a month consistently. James saw it live. So James was a witness to that.
It was wild. I used to go and hang out at the salon and there was nobody, like every chair was empty. There was nobody in there. And very quickly, yeah. I couldn't even text Nick and get a response. He was so busy because there were so many people in and out of the salon.
But that, was wild. That's the cost. Like I didn't know how to manage my time properly. I didn't know how to manage my energy. And so I became an owner, and the salon had ups and downs. I was more focused on me, my personal book. Then I wound up opening another salon. I sold that back to my partner, and I had an online store. and I got my teeth kicked in, and I lost a ton of money. And I said, when I give gratitude, thank you, God, for letting this work out for me. Thank you, God, for this working out for me. I didn't have what I wanted to actually happen at this moment in my life. And what magically happened was I was on the borderline of going bankrupt. I figured out a plan. I made it work. I became profitable now out of that business. Like, I was net positive. And from all these mistakes I learned, I've always wanted to be a mentor or a coach or create some kind of knowledge-based business. Out of that stemmed my whole entire personal economy model that I teach now. And so for the lowest of lows, giving gratitude for it working out the way I wanted it to, God put that there for a reason, for me to learn a lesson so I can teach other people not to make the same mistake I did. Now, you could ask anyone around me in my personal life who were really connected to my business. I'm going to probably go out on a limb and say 99.9% of people would have quit when I was at my lowest. I mean, I was really low, like $300,000 in debt. And the only way out really was to go bankrupt. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I got this. And I started implementing the thing that worked for me to get that case dismissed, to get me to be a successful hairstylist. And so I just put it in my journal every day. I started reading it again. And then slowly but surely, I was hitting like 5,000 a week on online sales. Then I was hitting like 10,000. And it was getting to the point where, holy shit, like I was doing it again. And so that's my story of gratitude. Whenever I focused on something, the outcome that I wanted, and I was thankful for it as if it already happened, I was able to make it happen. But it only was because it was connected to massive action. Next question, James. If there is one.
What are some ways to express gratitude to my clients without it feeling transactional?
Be genuine. It doesn't have to be transactional. Like, sometimes a handwritten card. Like, if you go to your client, I'm going to call her Deborah. Deborah, I just want to let you know, every time I look at my appointment book and I see your name in it, it brightens my day. I can't tell you how thankful I am to have clients like you in my book, because you really are the highlight of my day every time you're in my appointment book. And it's not just about doing your hair. It's about knowing you as a person. And I think you're one of the greatest people I ever met in my life. You give her a fucking handwritten card like that, doesn't have to have any money in it. That shit's heartfelt. That is not transactional. That is authentic, and that's real. Wow, that was good. Is that good, James?
It was fantastic.
Wow.
That was fucking phenomenal. How can I shift my mindset to find gratitude in setbacks or failures?
What needs to be true about the lesson you should have learned from that setback or failure that's going to catapult your life into the next level? Thank you for that happening. Because someone asked me yesterday, what's the one thing you wish you could change about your past? And I would not have changed anything. I mean, granted, I would love to have been, I would love to be where Alex Hormozi is. I'd love to be where Gary Vaynerchuk is right now, financially. Like, I'm not in a position where I should be financially based on the decisions I made 5 years ago still. And I wouldn't change not one of them, because if I change them, it's going to change where I'm going to end up on my finish line. And I'm not willing to risk that, because I know what happened in the past. I'm not going to exchange that for anything. So I'm so grateful for all the pain, all the tears I cried, for my lowest moments, like the days I was driving home from work sad because I was fucking broke and I just wasn't doing it. I thought I was a businessman and I wasn't a businessman. I was a fucking fake, and I had a salon. I'm trying to show up for everybody, and like I just want to take my car and slam it into a tree. Like, that's real talk. That's what it's like to be a business owner today. And you know what? Every second of it, I wouldn't trade for anything else in the world, because it was those moments that it defined who I was. And so, yeah, I give it gratitude, because that makes me who I am today. I can have the hard conversations now when I'm coaching another salon owner. When my daughter's going through something, when she gets older, my son, I've been there before. I've been at the lowest of lows before, so I know how dark it can get, so I can pull someone out of it. And I wouldn't trade that for anything else in the world. So be so grateful for these moments of your life, because the worse the storm is, the more beautiful it is when the sun shines the next day. And so I know it might suck right now, and you feel like, wow, this fucking kid, what's he talking about? Believe me, think of a moment, if you're old enough, when you thought your life was shattered. Maybe high school, maybe your high school sweetheart broke up with you, or junior high school, you didn't make the team and your life was over, and then you wouldn't have met your wife you have now, or your husband or your boyfriend or whatever you got going on in your life. If that bad moment in your life never happened, you wouldn't be where you're at right now. You wouldn't have the husband or the wife. Now, your husband may suck right now. Your wife may suck right now. But everything in life is temporary. And just know that this too won't last. It won't. And you've been through it before. I promise you, if you dig deep enough through a moment of your time that something sucked, it got better. So it will get better.
Mickey Kalukawua, how did you manage to keep the momentum going at your lowest?
Okay, so that's a great question. In order to keep momentum going when you're at your lowest, you have to surround yourself with nothing but positivity. I'm talking all I listened to was motivation videos on YouTube. All I did was read my goals that I wanted. And it gets hard. Like, it is hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. But you have to truly believe, and you need faith. And this is why when people are like, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in anyone, I don't believe in God. Bullshit. You need to believe in something. Because at your lowest of lows, if you're truly all alone with nothing else out there, like you need that faith. You need to know it's going to work out for you. There has to be like a little sparkle of hope that, okay, I can get through this. It just has to be. And if you don't have that, like, how did you wind up here? How did you even, how are you even listening to this right now? If you are at such a low point of your life, let this be the spark in your life that, yes, something better will come. I promise you it will come. Because for us to even have consciousness, for us to even exist, for you to even breathe air, for you to even have life on this planet, there has to be something bigger than you and this situation that you're in. So for that's how I got the momentum. That's how I figured, like, you know what? This can't be it. I'm destined for greatness. And for me, I just have like a big chip on my shoulder about being fucking great. And I'm not living to my true potential. And so I ask myself, what needs to be true about my actions? What needs to be true about my life? How I perceive this particular circumstance to make this benefit me. And it's just, that's how I got momentum. I made sure that anything negative in my life, I just ejected out of my life, whether it was people, self-talk, food, and honestly, you have to work out. Like, there's a couple things that we have in my program. I call them 5 agreements now, but if you work out every single day, if you listen to something positive or read something positive for 10 minutes a day, or listen to it or learn some kind of positive affirmation, positive book, you do that every day. So you work out, you read, and you surround yourself with positive information, like on YouTube or whoever, and you only have positive self-talk, and you read your goals, you do that several times a day, you will get out of the funk. So, James, any more questions?
Yeah, Angel Hair Baby is back, and she says, what's your advice on improving techniques? Is there an online platform you like for advancing education behind the chair, and should the practice be applied on all clients or doll heads?
I say just do models. Get the reps in. Live models are always going to be the best. Like, to get the habits down, if you want to use a mannequin, go ahead. Live models is the way to go. I mean, you have YouTube, you have TikTok, you have Instagram. Put in haircut, balayage, highlight, blonde, whatever you got to put in. Diana Antes, she is going to be an educator. She's she's on my team. She's going to start an education company. So Diana.Antes or Diana.Antes Hair. Just look her up. And she DM her, be like, hey, Nick sent me over to you. I need help with my techniques. But here's the one thing when it comes to techniques. So if you're struggling with techniques and what techniques you need to learn, and you're like one of these people who go to class after class and you're just like an education junkie, there is a place for education. But ask yourself, what are you pretending not to know that you already know? Like, you know how to do highlights. So because someone has some cool technique, watch them on Instagram or YouTube and see what they're doing. You know how to do it. Believe me, you know how to do it. Take some pride in yourself and create your own technique. Like Vida Sassoon had to figure it out on his own. He had to create the techniques, right? Like Carly Zanoni, Blonde Chronicles. She had to teach herself some techniques. Have some kind of like belief in yourself to come up with your own technique, your own way. And that comes from experience. That comes from putting the reps in. So become so good they can't ignore you. You'll produce your own technique through trial and error, and then eventually you'll be the best, and people will be taking your course in your class. Hope that helped. All right, James, last question.
Last question. How can practicing gratitude help me overcome feelings of burnout and overwhelm?
Yeah, be grateful that you're experiencing the overwhelm and the burnout right now. Because if you don't fix it, then it's going to just lead to a disaster. So like, oh my God, thank you for showing me where I'm lacking in my life. And then you have to ask yourself, why are you feeling burnt out? Guys, I'm going to separate your life into 3 categories. This is a bonus gift for everybody. Get a piece of paper, 3 columns. On the left, what irritates you? In the middle, what you're okay with doing. On the right, what excites you? List out everything you do throughout the day and figure out what column that falls into. You're probably burnt out and overwhelmed because you're doing a lot of shit that irritates you, not enough things that excite you. And if you're doing a lot of things that you're okay with, eventually they're going to probably irritate you sooner or later. So take a look at the audit of your life and your actions. If you're doing a lot of shit that irritates you, it's time to cut them out of your life or delegate them to somebody else. And then only live in the column of things that excite you, and you won't get burnt out. I work a lot. I put a lot of hours in. Obviously, you see me here doing a live. I'm on the phone texting people, trying to help them out. I have my coaching program. I have my salon. I'm learning how to manage my energy better. I have 5 coaches for myself, and so I have their calls I'm on. I don't feel burnt out at all. I'm the least burnt out now than I've ever been in my life. It's because I'm living in that I'm excited column. I promise you. Do that audit for yourself and then message me on here privately and say, wow, I did it and you're right. It works. If you want, go to my Instagram right now. Like 3 reels ago, I do a ChatGPT prompt. Go to that reel. Follow that caption. And then text me later and say thank you, because it's amazing what you'll get out of that ChatGPT prompt. So with that said, guys, this is more of like a fun gratitude lesson. But if you're struggling, you actually own a salon and you're doing well, but you are burnt out and overwhelmed, do me a favor, head over to my DMs right now. DM me the word grow. Don't drop the comment here. Let's get into a conversation about how you can grow your salon, how you can get out of your funk, how you could buy back your time to really work on the things that truly excite you. So if that's something that you want to try and do, you want to really get someone who's been there before and still going through it, who will help guide you, and you want to be part of a community of like-minded salon owners and barbershop owners and independent stylists, and I got some brands in there now, then DM me the word grow. We'll get a conversation going and see if you're a good fit for that community. But outside of that, everyone have an amazing Thanksgiving. If you go out tonight, remember, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Don't be all fucked up and hungover tomorrow. Have a good time, but be safe. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I will probably hop on here on Friday. So I'll see everyone later.